Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft-related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today, this very warm day, it's like in the 90s here where I'm at in Arizona already. It's hot, but I needed the outside air. And as always, whenever I'm outside, there is going to be traffic when I'm at this part of the house. Because I realize now that's just how it is here. 2 years in now, I know. But I wanted to do this video I'm basically encouraging you. You don't have to make videos, but maybe think about, your mid-year practice. I tend to look at my practice from a seasonal approach. And yes, I sort of I let the seasons drive me, as far as, how I want to do my magic, but not just that. I also, look at the calendar year as well. So in this case, I got my notes. I want to get into this. So I kind of just stopped for a minute. I really looked at, well, what have I done or what am I doing? So the first thing that I want to say, looking now, is June, mid-year. I started a coven. I started a coven. It's a virtual coven. And for any of my coven members that are watching this, thank you all. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate everything about what we do. It has enriched me, my craft, my spirituality, me, myself personally, and it's the best thing I could have done. So I had anxiety about putting myself out there on that more personal level. So I was able to get past that. I had trust issues, people I don't know, but I had to come to the terms that you won't ever know them if you don't trust them. So, and that's a process. It doesn't mean, if you're in a situation where you have access to get to a coven or start one yourself, it doesn't mean that you put everything out on a table and, you spill your guts. It simply means that you, as you feel more comfortable, open yourself up. Unless you have a reason to close off, don't. Be willing to share. Be willing to give a little bit more about yourself. And this is like, I'm saying coven, it could be just a group of witchy friends. But it's a virtual coven, and I do appreciate it. But that's something I had to kind of get through my own head and put into practice. The result of me making this decision is it's going extremely well. I really feel there's a sisterhood, and I'm very grateful to that. Another part, looking again at my witchcraft, this mid-year review, crafting. I'm doing so much more crafting. It unlocks more opportunities to be crafty. The more crafty you are, basically the more you're doing something, the more you're going to be open to doing other things because you're doing it. You get better, Also, it's a connection to the divine femininity. The creating itself to me comes from that aspect of us, our feminine side. So that's definitely, which is what I wanted to, be more in connection with that. And the result, I'm feeling more positive. I'm feeling more hopeful. I'm much more creative in how I approach problem solving and coming up with solutions, and it's sort of unlocked something in my mind, being more crafty. My spell work has increased. This is another item. So I'm doing more meaningful spells, more meaningful to me, obviously. I'm getting better results from my spells. The overall result is that I'm feeling more powerful, confident in my witchcraft. Okay, and then ritual. So I'm doing more consistent with rituals, lunar rituals. Because of my coven, I am much more consistent, and they're having more depth. And that's you want that. You want that. Not saying I couldn't achieve this by myself, but I'm definitely experiencing more depth and more meaning, and I'm getting more out of it practicing with my coven. Crafting rituals, that the actual ritual of crafting has been such an awesome experience for me. It's like, it's me, it's the equivalent of, I guess what the feeling people get from like going to some sort of religious, like a church or something. I don't know. It kind of puts me like afterwards. I have that feeling when I'm done. I feel both inspired and I felt like I just kind of let things go all at the same time. So that's good. The result, I look forward to rituals. I look forward to doing rituals. They don't feel forced. They don't feel obligatory. I'm getting positive energy, and more importantly, I'm maintaining positive energy. I'm maintaining that energy longer. You know how, and I'm going to kind of go on this a little bit more because I think it's important. You know how you go, you have your crystals on you. You might have done a new moon ritual. And you do other things throughout, the phase until the next new moon. But it's hard. You feel like you're making a point to stay positive. Like you have to keep doing things to kind of re-engage. Where I'm not having as many times where my levels, vibration, frequency, so to speak, goes down. I'm having less of that, and it's more kind of just staying even. And I'm very appreciative of that. And I do attribute that to the crafting, the more, including the crafting ritual, but just that ritual itself, and the energy from my coven sisters. Another item, magical record keeping. So magical record keeping is basically, maintaining journals, grimoires, book of shadows. It fulfills my desire to be organized. I am not always that organized, messy in some places in my life, physically speaking, and maybe not so physically speaking, but no, more physically than anything. My closet is a mess. I've been meaning to rearrange things and make it look nicer, and it's not I don't have stuff on the floor because I don't play that. But I live in a place where there's scorpions. I think that would be a silly thing for me to do. If I just start laying things around on the floor, don't do that. That's going to hurt your feelings one day. But anyway, so I don't play. I haven't seen any scorpions, but I'm not trying to find out. So I don't lay clothes on the floor. And, everything's clean and put up, but it's disorganized. Like my purse is on the shelf all crazy, just piled up. I have shelving, it was new construction and they did really nice here. But I'm just not using it at its full potential. And emotionally, that does disturb me when I go in there because I don't feel as inspired when I walk into my closet. And you start to feel like the things that are in there, you get that energy from it. And I like my things, but if they're not arranged in a way that is pleasing to the eye, it emotionally kind of does something to me. So when I have my planners, my journals, my book shadows, and so forth, that fulfills that desire to organize and have a little bit more control over things, and that helps me. So it taps into my crafty side, which is important right now in my life. And genuinely keeping all these different journals and planners and books or whatever, it makes me happy. It genuinely makes me happy, which keeps me vibing very high. Overall result, I'm excited about my craft. It makes me excited about my craft. I'm a cottage witch. It's part, for me, magical record keeping is part of my spirituality. It's part of what I do. And it keeps me excited and engaged. So I do appreciate that about, my little style of magical record keeping. So my overall review of my witchcraft, just me reviewing myself in my craft. There's been a mind shift with myself. I'm seeing possibilities, opportunities everywhere. I'm basically seeing a chance to do things that, it's not that I never thought I would do them, I'm seeing the chance to do it. I'm seizing the moment, so to speak. And that's really awesome. So I'm proud of myself because I have been known to procrastinate. So that's awesome. And that makes me happy, for me. I'm not bored, so that's also a great thing. I hate being bored with something that I love. I technically love, but it's boring me to tears. I don't feel boredom in my craft. It's helping me to develop everything I'm doing. It's helping me to develop other powers. So I'm becoming more powerful in other aspects than what I had been, before. And that's pretty awesome. So when you kind of unlock, I guess, the next level for yourself as a witch, that's pretty cool when you get to use those powers. I think that's attributing to why I'm having more powerful spells. Which the next thing is increased results in my spell work. Um, yeah, the things that I'm doing, I feel like I'm getting better results. I want to say quicker results, but it seems like it's just happening. Like, yeah, it is quicker. It's like, I caution, I don't want to say it like that because not everything is, but the things that I mean to work in a certain time frame do. There's not a weird delay or anything. It seems to really be doing it. I'm better at readings. It's not that I was bad. When I say better, it's like I was already good, but I'm even better. And I appreciate that because it makes it easier to use discernment. It makes it easier to use, my practical mind, so to speak. It makes that practical side of myself more comfortable because I'm better at understanding, the cards in front of me. It's super loud. I was a truck. I'm gonna let that truck live his life. But I'm much better at readings, and I appreciate that. I'm easily inspired, and that makes me think on how I can be inspiring to someone else, like this video. And hopefully you're taking the time to think about yourself and your craft and where you are in these last 6 months. It's not an opportunity for you to beat yourself up either. It's an opportunity if you're seeing gaps and where you wanted to see something positive filled in or something more, then look at that as an opportunity for the next 6 months, as opposed to just, getting stuck on it. Notice I didn't say anything negative. That's not the point of this review. I'm physically feeling better after making certain decisions and choices, hard decisions, hard choices for myself. That did require spell work, ritual, meditation, readings, to commune with my ancestors, to commune with the goddess that I work with. After all of that, and following the advice and understanding and applying what was revealed to me, I'm physically better. Like, I physically feel better. And there's nothing better than health, Health is literally wealth. As I'm getting older, I know that to be even more true. So that is my list. That's my whole list. And if you take away anything from what I just went over, learn to take stock. I've done videos like this before, like end of year review of my witchcraft. So this is sort of my in-between. Learn to take stock. This is how you kind of really develop your witchcraft. I want to say spirituality, but you could be just into the craft. You may not have the spiritual component, It depends on where you are and what kind of witch you are. But specifically the spells, the ritual, the magic is what I'm getting at right now. In order for you to become more powerful, in order for you to have better experiences, you need to check in on what you've already done. You need to kind of look at yourself more objectively and your witchcraft objectively and see where there are opportunities, where you need to kind of, leave something in the past or, beef up something more, kind of, if candle spells are really good for you and you feel like you've kind of mastered that. See how else you can add other layers into your candle spells. Can you do you need to get into something totally separate, like creating sigils? Do you need to get into something where you're creating oils to anoint the candles with? Or, learning more about herbs to roll the candles in. Burning the candles at a certain time of day, a certain time of night, that sort of stuff. Really just kind of, and you can take this essential oils and understanding the aromatherapy, all that sort of stuff. Getting into actual candle making if need be, so you can make it from scratch. Like really, like take it from this level to that, level up your witchcraft basically. um, but on the flip side, if you've been using candles and you know every spell that you follow, they ask you to use candles, and you use them, and it's not resonating with you. You did all the things, you followed the steps, you carved in the candle, you did the oils, but it's not resonating with you. Then maybe stop using candles. They could just be for the purpose of ambiance, but you're not doing spell work on the candles. They instead concentrate on the things that seem to make sense to you. I think a lot of us, just from an astrological point of view, are not going to be drawn to the fire element. Maybe for you, it literally is just working with herbs and making potions. Some people, it's just that, you know, especially if you have more water in your astrological chart or your birth chart. You know, you might be into more of those things. If you like to kind of get outside and, you know, work with natural elements, you know, you might be more earth-based. For some people, dance and things like that, and singing and, you know, writing poetry and reading and all that, it's more air. But if that works for you and you feel more powerful in that, you can definitely build on those things. And I would say, you know, leave the candles alone to do all that other stuff, because that's working for you and giving you powerful results for your powerful spells. But with all that being said, take stock. It's important to take stock. However you want to do it. If you want to look at it quarterly, if you want to look at it monthly, yearly, or like me, you know, mid-year review. But you want to take stock. It's important. I know there's a lot of loosey-goosiness with witchcraft, but it could be whatever. Again, one of my biggest things that, from my experience and what I'm also seeing, is I think that a lot of us lack a little bit more structure in our craft, and that maybe that's why things kind of feel boring after a while, stale, or, you know, spells just aren't working as much. Speaking of, if you're interested in more about cottage witchcraft, cottage witchery, I will link my free workshop, which is self-paced, and you can take a look at that and hopefully, you know, help build a little bit more structure in your craft as well. I have some exciting things planned. I'm hinting, teasing. I have some exciting things planned that I'll be announcing very soon. I'm very excited about those things, and to me, being creative and being willing to be more inspired has definitely inspired me to do these other things, but that's coming, and I can't wait to share that with you. But for now, that's it. Thanks again for watching. I'm Mika. This is Sleep Taken. Please like, subscribe, share. If you've already subscribed, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And yeah, thanks again for watching. Bye.